of you here. Somehow I haven't got the other members, but I know they're coming. I can see messages here. I'll be able to update us as we go along. But let's heat it out straight up. Right? Today I'm not going to be, because of the time, straight up. Let's go first things first, talking about our president who came up earlier, talking about, in many aspects, talking about fertilizer. And could you recount that? Could you, summarize what is your take from his address about the fertilizer and the petrol or diesel fuel shortages, we should start?
Yeah, actually, the president has just delivered the State of the Nation address, in which he has delivered the good news to Malawians, and that is about the price of fertilizer. And I did just have a glimpse of the speech that he delivered, and I understand the price of the fertilizer is really going to those that receive AIP. They will be beneficiaries of this new price decrease, I would say. And also the small and medium enterprises, businesses, they will also be beneficiaries, which is going to affect a lot of Malawians anyway. Most of the Malawians will be beneficiaries of this new price decrease. I'll have all the details later on. But in another issue that he highlighted, which has been a key issue really in his reign the past 5 years, and that's the issue about the middlemen that really sabotages most of our supply chain. And this time he was highlighting on the fact about the fuel situation, which has been a problem. We can't lie about it. It's been coming and going, and just recently, queues have started happening again in the filling station, people queuing up to get fuel. And the president was open about it, and he highlighted the fact that there are some people that have been working behind the scenes to sabotage his government. These have been largely sponsored by the opposition, but also some just with the intention of doing corrupt practices. And they've been conniving with suppliers and trying to withhold fuel. But the president has told Malawians the truth, that he's aware of the situation and that they're going to go for these middlemen. They're going to go for these people who are trying to sabotage the government, and that nothing will stop him from delivering fuel to Malawians, and that he's ready to make sure that the situation is sorted. And he has put in place measures to make sure that the fuel should be in the pump stations in the next few days.
That's the other thing that I really wanted to ask you, in terms of, when I see this kind of a situation, surely I want to sympathize with him that this is a problem where going to the polls, somebody's trying to sabotage his chances of taking, of continuing, let's say. My question to you, I don't know whether you'll be able to answer me, but is, to some extent, I feel like he's taking a very lenient approach. Why does he have to sack them after the polls? Why can't he do it straight away? Is there a reason why he has to keep quiet until after 16th? Because that's what he says. If I have understood him very well, he says after the 16th, brace yourself. You're not going to be at Nokma no more.
Yeah, because the whole thing goes in line with our manifesto about the reforms that needs to be delivered anyway. I'm understanding what you're trying to say, that he could have come there and say, I've fired you. But the thing is, these are processes that are involved within the supply chain. Sometimes you just can't make an outright decision because it's going to disrupt the flow of the supply chain. But then what he's saying there is that things have been put in place. Those that are sabotaging have been identified, and he's going to act on it. And he's promised Malawians that he's going to act on it. So they have put measures to make sure that the fuel is available for the next few days. Another point to highlight is that we are going to be having a very crucial time in the next 5 days, 10 days, as the elections are approaching. And the last thing that you need is to disrupt the flow of the supply chain. So it's best to work on the resources that are available at the moment and make sure that Malawians vote, the election process goes as seamlessly as possible. And then after that, then it's when he's going to act on the information that he's been provided, on the findings that he's been provided, and also act on the people that have been trying to sabotage his government. And we'll see him biting. This time he means business, because this has been going on for so long. And we've been complaining about this whole thing, about our whole supply chain in the government, our whole, the way we get our fuel and the way the whole system works. And it's good that MCP has put this as a main point in their manifesto about the reform of the way the system runs in the government, because this is what we need at the moment.
Just to echo what you just said again, I mean, okay, before I echo, let's welcome Mrs. Caroline Whayo. Carol, welcome. Apologies for a bit of a confusion, but yeah, it's good to have you here. Straight in, we are talking about the president's national address, where he was talking about the fertilizer and the fuel sabotage. Now, you're going to jump in at some point, but let me come back to you, Mr. Mvula. So this has been going on for a while. It's amazing to me. Why do we have to leave it to the last minute to rectify it? Just like you say, we're putting measures into the next, if we form the next, if you form the next government, I'm saying we as if I'm part of the presidential, but if he forms the next government, why has he left it so late to rectify this? What can give us,
the good thing is that
what's so evident or appealing that we should believe that this is going to happen when he takes over again?
Yeah, the good thing is that we'll be forming the next government. So whatsoever he said today is something.
You're very confident about that.
We are very confident about it, because Malawians are ready to give us another 5 years.
I know Carol is ready with that.
Based on what we've delivered in the past 5 years. But to answer your question as to why has it been left late, it hasn't really been left late. The thing is, as Malawians, I think we've been talking about it, the concept of mindset change. I think this is for all of us as Malawians, regardless of political affiliation. It's time we need to change the way we think. Because if they're going to be bringing people in the system that have got the same way of thinking, the same way of using an opportunity that they have to steal money from the system, to have corruption, to receive kickbacks, it's not going to change anything. They can fire me today and bring you a chance tomorrow, and then you're going to do the same thing. So I think the idea of mindset change for Mali, they have to know that they have to be doing things for the country and not just to fill their pockets. So President Chagre has tried on occasions that these things have happened. They've tried to make changes. We know of the changes that took place at Nokima. We know of the changes in suppliers and everything. But the thing is, it's been like we make a change, and the people that we hope that they're going to bring the change still haven't delivered, and they are doing the same thing. So it's a problem that is affecting a lot of Malawians, those in the system, because they feel like if they're in a position of doing something for the government, then they have to use that opportunity to steal money from the system. And it hasn't worked. And that's why this time he's saying, okay, we need to cut out the middlemen, because this is the loophole that these people have been using, and maybe rely on that government-to-government partnerships. You're mute.
Carol, this is the same question I probably would want you to come in from the back of it. If you look at the president's address today, I think it's clear there's been a bit of sabotage in there. And I think Mr. Mvula is trying to rectify that. In your understanding, I mean, my point again is, surely for 5 years, there are certain things you guys, MCP, should have actually identified to, by now. We shouldn't have sabotages going to the polls. What's your take on this?
I don't buy that there has been sabotage. I don't buy it, because this thing has been going on for years. It's not like it's a new thing. It's not. And we know that every time it's the very same story. You come and then you deliver this powerful speech with no action to follow. So it's been a trend. And this is the really sad part of our president, Ajakwera. He just knows how to talk, but action is zero. Because last year he went to Dubai to negotiate the deal about government to government. How far did it go? Now we are here going to Mozambique looking for fuel. And today, no one should be struggling and queuing on the roadside looking for fuel in today's era. This government has failed, so they want to point a finger at someone and say, it's not sabotage. It's just because the people who are employed on those places, they don't know how to work. They don't know how to do their job. They were, if he was willing to to change all these things, he could have brought in people who know their jobs. Instead of because they and or this and that, leave all those things out. Go there and work as a president of the nation, not like Sangala said. So our president has got a problem, and that is his problem because he does not bite. Rero, I am this powerful speech. And why are you waiting until after 20th of September? What guarantees are there that those people are going to be indeed fired? It's
Charo, do you want to answer Mrs. Why is it? That's the same question I said. Why do we have to wait until when there is? Does he not have a stump where he can literally just cut off the people that are trying to sabotage? And if you want to say that again, Charo, according to Carol, she feels that's not sabotage.
It's unfortunate that Carol thinks that it's not sabotage, because it's very much obvious to Malawians that this issue about middlemen has been a problem, not only in the system, not only in the Tonse Alliance government, of which MCP is the
MCP government, correction.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not only just in this government that was ushered in as Tonse Alliance, and eventually it became, they started calling it MCP government, of which we are happy with it. But it's been a problem that's been happening even in the previous DPP government. These middlemen, the system needs to change. I think it's time as Malawians, we have to acknowledge
this. Chalo, before you continue, that's where my point is. You've been in power for 5 years. Why have we not changed it to this very day?
It's because we have been trying to change. On several occasions, I highlighted that we've made changes to the human capital that is involved in this distribution of fuel and everything. We've made changes there, but the people that were ushered in haven't delivered as we expected. And that's why I linked it to the mindset change that needs to be changed, because a lot of Malawians, those that have been given opportunity, they are all thinking in the same way, that I am here and I need to utilize this time to get, to do corrupt practices or to get kickbacks and that kind of thing. But we need people that are really serious to deliver. Dr. Chakwera, he could have come today and fire.
And I would support him. I would love him if he came in today. Fire, I would love him to do it.
It's going to.
He never fires
anybody. A very popular thing to do. And it could have been a very popular thing to do, but it would have disrupted the supply system.
Right.
So what we need is to make sure that we have a crucial time that is coming. I said the election and everything needs to happen, go as smoothly as possible. And then once we are ushered in, as we are coming back, we will continue the work and make the changes that are necessary.
So the fear in your understanding, before you come in, Carol, the fear the way I'm understanding it is, because we are, if he stops it now, then we may not even have fuel come in.
We might, the whole system is going to get disrupted. And that is the last thing that Malawi needs at this time, because it's going to be the very same people that's going to turn around and start saying MCP has played games to make sure that there's no fuel supply and that kind of thing, so that maybe they want to mess up the elections. So,
okay, Carol.
No, because I don't think it's correct to say that someone is bigger than the whole government machinery. Someone is bigger than the whole government.
Carol, before you even explain that's how I'm getting it. It looks like there are individuals that are bigger than the government. Go ahead.
Because you can't tell me that the whole government, like NOCMA and all those other bodies that control the fuel supply, they can't fire if you fire one person, then the whole system is going to get disrupted. Why do they have the deputies? Why do they have the whole chain of command? Because everyone is supposed to know how these things work. So you can't tell me that firing one person, the whole country is going to suffer. Are they bigger than the government?
And that's why Dr. Chakwera has assured Malawians today that he's going to make the changes, because he knows that he has the power, he has the capability, and he's going to make the changes, because we have realized that all these sabotages are also being engineered by the opposition, who want to capitalize the whole thing and make it for political gains.
Opposition is in opposition. So they don't have any say in the supply.
We have identified that the opposition are working to mess up things, so that people should be angry with the current government to say we are not delivering. We have discovered that, and the president has come in the open today. Dr. Chakwera isn't the person that comes out most of the times and start pointing fingers at other people. But it came to a point today whereby he had no choice but to tell Malawians what's actually happening.
He's been sleeping on duty for too long.
and tell Malawians what is actually happening. And he has told Malawians about the work that the opposition have been doing to try to mess up things. But we have the solutions, and we will provide the solutions when we take over. Not when you talk about when we come back in power after.
But anyway, thank you for that. But you know, it's good. It's a good thing that MCP government is leaving, so that when we come in, we'll correct all these things. It's really, we are here to serve Malawians, not serve a few individuals like Chance said it.
Right.
Yeah, if these individuals, they've got access to fuel, they don't struggle on the queues. They are the very same people that go in front of the queue. They'll have their cars filled up and they'll be traveling, doing whatever they want to do. But you're talking about, and this issue, I'm sorry, I'm going to start mentioning names. There's issue about, we have been hearing about this, that our PS Aklin Zamba, yeah, SPC. He's the one who has been like capturing everybody, and we have heard so many stories about that lady capturing the whole country.
But those are just sorry to interrupt, Carol. I think those are just
finish. You answer back, yeah. So people like those are the ones that are capturing the whole government, the whole country. It's like being captured by one person who, like, it's been going on for years. It's not like it's something new. So if the president has been hearing about these things, why hasn't he taken time to investigate that? Why is it always your name popping up? Why is it not somebody else from somewhere coming up? But it's always Colleen Zamba in every single thing that happens. And you find that these stories that are coming out, they're actually happening on the ground. So in the whole country.
In fact, Chalo, before you come in, I'm going to give it to you once again, Chalo. Anthony Bendulo, whom you definitely know, speaks about SPC too much, has written again just 2 minutes after the whatever. He goes, what we are seeing today could have been avoided if one SPC did not frustrate the G2G fuel agreement. 7 days to elections and alimumakyu uyuyu takarate kunena nde opanga sabotage wankulu kuposa ma DPP awili combined. Now go ahead, Carol. Sorry,
I
let's give it back to Mr. Mvula. Go on.
I can speak on it all day because I feel so much pain with what is going on.
It's painful. Go ahead. Sorry, Carol, go ahead.
We cannot dwell on hearsays or false accusations or people just waking up and start mentioning people's names to say this one is the one that is doing it. We have to do proper investigations and then base what we say on the findings that we find. And I think to come in the open here and start saying, oh, it's the SPC who's doing it, I think it's absolutely wrong because we don't have the facts, we don't have the evidence that it's been like that. I think the three of us, we even agree that the system is broken. It is
sabotage at some point.
And President Chakwera, in his speech today, if you listen to it, he has admitted to the fact that the system is broken.
There's doba.
He hasn't denied it, and that's a good thing about Dr. Chakwera. He owns up on things. You know, he could have come there and say, "Oh, I've done this," but he's accepted.
But there's no solution. People are still sleeping on the
we're talking about MCP government is the government of delivering solutions. So we are working on the solutions. The solutions might have taken longer, as you are suggesting that probably the actions could have been done way back
earlier.
But but the idea is we needed the whole facts. We have all the whole systems in place. We understand where the problem is coming from. When we realize that this problem, listen, what is happening is when we realize that we are trying to make changes, but we have also identified that the opposition parties, they're also working behind the scenes. That's the whole thing about sabotage. Sabotage is somebody trying to do something right, and then other people behind the scenes trying to throw in things to mess up the system.
Now imagine, Mr. Mvula, imagine that individual being in your camp. Let's just imagine. Why would you jump to say it's the opposition? Imagine if it was in your camp.
I wouldn't agree with that because that's what I'm saying, that's just personal opinions of people, and we can't base the fact. I can come here and mention somebody's name and start accusing them of things based on probably my relationship with that person. We don't have any facts that the SPC is involved in anything, and if anything, she's tried her best to sort things out. But I'm not here to back the SPC or to say whether she's right or wrong. But what I'm here is the fact that we have identified that the opposition have been trying to sabotage the system. And Dr. Chakwera today has come in the open and exposed them, and also assured Malawians that he's going to deliver the solutions to this thing. It's enough. We've had it for a long time, and now it's time to sort the mess out.
We should, I want to agree, Carol, before you come in, I want to agree that they sabotage. Maybe Chakwera has discovered and he doesn't want to say it. Let's be honest, because he didn't give us, he just said, I've identified there's a sabotage. Maybe because if Chalo, I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to take it further, but I'm gonna give it to Carol probably to articulate. If I knew, and 7 days to the polling station, that there is sabotage against the good thing that I'm doing for my nation, I should mention names. But he chooses to just say there is a sabotage. Anyway, maybe Mrs. Carol, maybe what I would say in your opinion, because see, just like you there was a time I actually I wrote on my Facebook page tagging Vitumbiko and Dr. Lazarus' page to say, what's going on? You feel irritated as if I could do the job. Anybody feels like they could do this. Why can't we? What I want you to say is, what is the solution then? Because I mean, we've had these things, even in the times of DPP, in the times of, what's her name, Joyce Banda. These people talk about this sabotage again and again. What needs to be done?
Employ people who know how to do their job. Nepotism is the biggest killer. Because if you are to find most of these people in these organizations that would change of Assemblies of God, they are 12% region. So you to start appeasing people instead of crunch time.
Yeah.
Now you're coming out how are you going to appeal to people that they should vote for you again, and yet people are sleeping on the fuel stations? Mind you, those people, they have to go to work tomorrow. They have families that they have to support. They have to be at work even today, but they're sleeping on the queue. Why? Because you're saving and you're not supposed to save them. Because running a government, and even today, we're not here in because all he does is but no action. So they've had 5 years to do it. They failed.
I think on that point, Carol, you're not right. Because I think the whole speech today that Dr. Chakwera delivered, I think we need to look at it and understand why he delivered that speech. And as I said, it's all about exposing the people that are sabotaging the system.
But how do you expose someone?
The word sabotage.
What's the point?
The word sabotage there is big, because sabotage is somebody trying to do something right, and someone else who's got evil intentions. In this case, the opposition, the DPP. Probably
I refuse. I refuse.
Or something like that. I've been trying to work behind the scenes and mess up the system. So he has exposed them. Other people say, why has he come at this time? But when is the right time?
You had
when
5
you
years.
Understand that somebody is messing up your system, at that particular time, you have to come and tell Malawians. Probably Malawians have to understand what has been happening. Malawians need to be told the truth. And Dr. Chakwera today has told Malawians the truth, that the sabotage is too much. And now he's going to act on it once the elections are over.
Why did he not act on it? Why can't he act on it and say, well, actually, let me finish. Allow me to finish, please. Why didn't he come and act action and then come back and when I'm on does it chase? Let me finish. And then I have to next week, and then there's no guarantee that you fix it, because right now because don't
understand the intention of the people that were trying to sabotage. They were sabotaging so that Dr. Chakwera's government, the MCP government, should appear as if it's failing. It should appear as if it's not delivering. That was the whole essence. To them, it's the sabotage. It's on two fronts. It's the political front, so that the Chakwera government should be seen as if it's not delivering. And it's also on the corruption front, whereby they just want to get money. So Dr. Chakwera has come in the open today. He had time, but as a president, he was working behind the scenes and trying to sort things out. But now he's just decided that, you know what, this is time that I need to tell Malawians the truth. And now he has told Malawians the truth, and people are tending to say, oh, why has he said that?
Exactly. You have to know all those ideas. I think how to keep the face of the government. They should have told him this is a wrong move, because if
no,
it's
this is not a wrong move.
give
This
me
is the best
solutions.
move
Don't
that he has done.
promise me
This is the
anything
best move
else.
that he has done.
You've had the chances to correct it, but you haven't. Like, you've had the chances years and years to correct it. You have, and it's really sad. And we have all these things that are happening smoothly. You find, for example, just this week, because Amalakwita. So we have
integrity at the heart of politics.
Exactly. Amalakwita, she's been questioned and she's had to say goodbye to her seat. Malawi, no one leaves their post. Or if you don't want to lose, no matter how difficult it is. And the president, because they're getting hurt. But my business saying fuel, they can't do anything. Nothing works if there is no fuel. And today, don't come and tell me that you voted in the conference next week. That doesn't work.
I think that you are misunderstanding the whole thing, because the idea is not about Dr. Chakwera coming to deliver a speech today to say, vote for me. It was not a campaign speech.
It is, even though he doesn't say it, but it's a campaign strategy.
Don't push it to be a campaign speech. Dr. Chakwera just came and exposed the people that are sabotaging the government for people from Malawians to know the truth.
Mr. Mvula, let's agree there's sabotage, and it's probably even in your party. But before you come on, I'll be back. Listen, welcome back. I have Carol, who represents the UTM, and I have CHALO MVULA, who represents MCP. Before we continue, I want to say it again, that I had sent out, you've seen the flyer with all three members of three major parties in our land. I want to confer what I was told by Dr. Bashan Nkoma, to say that after he gave me a yes, he told me something has come up and hence he couldn't make it. And he said he's going to provide somebody to be with us, but he hasn't. I've sent every message, no response so far. If you're there and you're a DPP member wondering why do we not have our representation, it's not the host's mistake, it's in your camp. Anyway, welcome. Let's welcome back my fellow pundits or people that are here on the panel of discussion. Carol, before I come to you, I want to get back to, let's now get into the candidates that we have. Let me start with Mr. Mvula, maybe on a lighter note, because we seem to have pinched you with the sabotage that's happened. Mrs. Whayo, calm down a little bit. Let's get on a lighter note with Mr. MCP, your candidacy of Dr. Lazarus and Vitumbiko Mumba. Tell us their personality and what they bring to the table. What should we expect from these two?
I think the combination of Chakwera and Vitumbiko is, I describe it as the winning ticket. Not only just because we are winning the elections that are coming, but it's a perfect combination for Malawi. I think Dr. Chakwera, we can look back at the 5 years, his leadership style, the vision that he has for Malawi, the calmness that he has, the ability to bring Malawians together, the ability not to focus on one tribe above the other. You know, he has been fantastic. And the best of the candidates that have come out trying to compete for this presidency, he's way above most of them. And that's not even something that we can discuss about. I think it's very much obvious. The thing is, the obvious, the visionary leadership that Dr. Chakwera is promising Malawians in the next 5 years, and that has been ingrained in our manifesto and the clear policy agenda. You know, this whole thing about providing food security to Malawians, this whole thing about job and wealth creation, about governance reforms, and about public service delivery. You know, he has the clear vision. He knows what he's going to do in the next 5 years. You know, Dr. Chakwera, he's coming from the background of the super high five, you know, fighting corruption, you know, empowering SEB, you know, the whole thing about leadership style, servant leadership, absolutely great. You know, he listens to the people, and he is just the perfect man for the job. You know, he has also not been authoritarian. In the 5 years that we've seen freedom that has been given to people. People have been able to protest. People have been able to criticize Dr. Chakwera. People have been able to say a lot of things, even bad stuff about Dr. Chakwera. They've had the freedom to do that, and he's not acted on it. He's given them the freedom to do it because we are living in a democratic world, democratic country. And also, talk of infrastructure development. Oh my God, the amount of things that he has. Like, look the way he's transformed, like Lilongwe, the road infrastructures, the bringing of the railway back, the focus of the future as well. Because as a leader, you don't just do at what is happening at that particular time. It's about the vision, and the vision that is ingrained in the 2063 agenda, the ATM and M's strategy for economic transformation of the country, the agriculture, trade, mining, you know, the whole thing. It's all about looking at where Malawi is going to be in the next few years. And that vision is about economic transformation. Well, lastly, on Dr. Chakwera himself, here's a guy who is very resilient in terms of crisis. Crisis management is absolutely great. Man, we had COVID. Yeah? COVID hit the country. Look at the way he governed the country. We had all those cyclones. Look at the way he governed the country. Very calm, but knowing what he's doing, delivering results. Crisis management is absolutely great. You don't have any better leader for Malawi but Dr. Chakwera. That's why I think he is the right person for the job to continue in the next 5 years. And bring in Vitumbiko Mumba. Oh my God, the chap is just great. Young, intelligent, well-educated, well-articulated, and he's the guy who has the vision as well for Malawi, vision for economic transformation in terms of improving trade, export and imports, balancing the whole thing. We have Vitumbiko Mumba, who is a go-getter. Man, he was chosen as the Minister of Labor. In a few days' time, there was transformation everywhere. Yeah, he is somebody who is results-oriented. He was appointed Trade Minister. You've seen what he's delivered. It's obvious, and the evidence is there that the guy delivers. So we have Dr. Chakwera who delivers, and bring in Vitumbiko Mumba, who is also somebody who delivers. What a wicked combination, in other ways we say so, meaning that it's a very great combination that Malawians will have. Not only that, rarely do we have leaders in Malawi who have got an ideology where the beliefs that governs their leadership. Yeah, right. Vitumbiko Mumba, of all the other running mates, he's outstanding because this is the guy who's coming with an ideology of people over politics. He knows that the work is for the people. Vitumbiko Mumba is telling Malawians that he's not there as a politician. He's there as an engineer who's just focused on the lives of the people. That makes him stand out from the other candidates. You know, and also he's another one who's resilient under pressure. We need to have people who can withstand the fire that's thrown at them. Man, Vitumbiko Mumba has displayed over the past 2 years. I don't need to go into it. You know, the internal party issues that we had, all the challenges that were thrown at him, he's managed to sail through them, showing how resilient he is as a leader. We need people like this, especially in this world of today where the economy is messed up, where we need economic transformation to transform the whole country. And on top of that, this guy is also a Pan-Africanist. He believes that Africa needs to rise up. He believes that Africa has the capability to rise up, to use their resources for economic transformation. So to me, Vitumbiko Mumba and Dr. Lazarus Chakwera is the perfect combination. And I'm calling on Malawians. We don't even have to make a mistake here. It's very obvious. We are on the right path. And these two people are going to take us to where Malawi needs to be.
Right. I don't have, before I can even, pounce on the two individuals that you've told us, let me give it to Caroline on the back of having Dr. Dalito Kabambe and what's the name? Matthews Mtumbuka, is it?
Yes.
Engineer Matthews, right. What's the choice? And sell us. What do they bring?
I don't even have to speak too much because these two individuals, they speak for themselves. If you have to look at how the campaign trail has been going, It's only our president, Dr. Daliso Kabambe, who has been telling people what he's able to do, who has been selling himself that, you know what, Malawi will change. And Malawi doesn't need much. Malawi all they want is economic transformation, which is what our president is going to do to Malawi, to Malawians, because he is an economist by profession. He has heard, like he has been the leader for the Reserve Bank governor. Like making sure that Malawi has got all the basic requirements. Entire fuel, entire DPP. It wasn't as common as it is now because the Sukabambe, the Amina Malongo economy, Malawi. You look at forex. They can't even go anywhere because there is no forex. You look at my passport, because you can see that Malawi is in such a mess. And let's talk about food security. There is nothing. Till 2025, no one should be struggling to have just basic things like food. No. So our president, Dr. Daliso Kabambe, is saying, you know what? This is the third revolution. We're coming in and we're going to give you access to food. We're going to give you the tools for you to do your own stuff and have food on your table. If you're to see Malawians are not lazy people. Malawians, they work for themselves. They don't believe in handouts. Malawi, all they want is just fertilizer so that they can go and farm and have something. All they want is fuel so that but the MCP government is making sure that they've got nothing to survive on, so that they depend on handouts from the government. Our president is saying that no, you're going to be standing up on your 2 feet. We're going to make sure that everything that you need is at your disposal. So go out and shine. Look at Matthews in Tumbuga. Guys, do I even have to sell him out? The guy sells himself. The guy is a machine. Matthews is like a caterpillar, man. See, he doesn't stop. He's like results oriented. He has been a head of my company, and he has managed to head them properly. My company in Africa. You find out he was the head of Airtel. The guy, he's just out of this. He's in a league of his own. So the combination of our engineer Matthews Mtumboka and our president Dosagabambe, there's no one out of everyone there. You can see that there's no one who can match them because our president he's managing the economics of the country, and Matthews Mtumboka is dealing with the infrastructures and everything else. So you can actually see that this combination, because these people, they know what they're doing. It's not like they're going there blindly. They know exactly how they're going to transform Malawi into the new dawn of Africa. Okay. So
go on. Finalize. Okay.
Yes, so I was saying that if you were to look at this combination, Malawi is assured, because if you were to look at MCP government, what they've done is and making sure that Blanta is dead, the North is dead. So our president is coming and saying that no, all these not villages, but townships, they have to rise up. They have to be able to doing their own thing. So this president is coming, empowering each and every person. Also, only Lilong, making sure that all the companies have closed in Blantyre and in Zuzuzomba. All of them should go to Lilongwe. What about all those other cities? You're killing them.
Cool. Now let me start with you, Carol, because what I'm bringing now is the two choices that you guys have told me. I want to start with the flaws that people have seen in them. In people's mouths, these are two it's the same thing. I mean, like Chakwera Lazarus was not tested in terms of the presidency. We have two members in your camp who knows nothing about the presidency. So you're asking the Malawians to rally behind people who are trying to get to the top, where they will be also shocked, probably just like the Malawians.
I don't think so. We can't even compare apples and mangoes, because Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, he came without knowing how to run the government, and he still doesn't know how to run the government up until today. That's why people
but he came at the back of one CEO who was very successful in organizing the assemblies of God in the Malawi, and not only just in Malawi, but in Southern Africa. Now I know it's to do with the Christian organization, but a very stable organization. So let's say when it comes to management and project, he had the acumen of it.
Okay. Like if you're talking about coming from the church, and you can say that now running a church and running the government are two different things. My dad was also a pastor, where he saw, rest in peace. My mom is a pastor, so I know how to run a church. But does that mean that I can run a country? No. So you say that his leadership style is laissez-faire. He just allow people to do whatever they want to do, and that's why we're in this mess today, because he doesn't hold the bull by its horns. Okay. So if you're to talk about Dr. Kabambe being a Reserve Bank governor is no joke.
Who, in fact, as you go on about DK was in the times of DPP, in the days where he did not report the right figures to the IMF, that actually after somebody has taken over from him, now we're being slapped with devaluation and everything because we had DK at the helm for a while.
No. I think he actually came and corrected that it wasn't him sending wrong figures, but it was because of the way the system works, because you can see what you want to see, because it's a matrix. So if you want to see what you want to see, you see what you want to see. But if you saw, he actually came and accounted for every single thing that happened. So we can't label him on that, because he came out so many times and corrected everything that happened. So if you are to talk about devaluation today, it's because of mismanagement of funds that our government is doing, overspending when you don't have anything coming in. So obviously, yes, we're going to suffer, because as we said, someone who doesn't know how to run the government, who only knows how to run, and as I'm to put it, not being rude, but you know, drama church is not the same as running government coffers.
But that is, Carol, that is for you saying that because he run the church, he cannot run the government, is purely just people's just understanding. Let's be honest. It all has people management. In fact, I would prefer, if I would be honest, I would prefer a people manager who has done on the basis of having a good heart to manage people. And this is where probably, okay, I do agree with you. Listen, the frustration is that he's not holding the bull by its horns. We agree on that one. I'm going to go that with Chalo. But on your case again, DK, so you are saying that this man can bring the economy back to its...
he has done it for 5 years, not devaluation, for 5 years under the DPP government.
But in the devaluation, if you're talking about the devaluation, again, I bring you to that sense where you're talking about the metrics, knowing the system and everything. So surely he must have been manipulating the system so that it doesn't happen under his governance, isn't it?
No, actually, I think he was advising the government on spending. So if you can look back, you find that there was a time whereby Peter Mutharika was not even traveling at all. And people were saying that, oh, I think he's dead. These people, they're hiding things, because he was telling him that you can't manage to travel and taking all this forex with you. We need forex cover for at least 6 months. So he was listening to him, and then he's keeping that money in. But our president today is like secret transport, here today, there tomorrow, taking all the money from the government. Now
also,
we don't have...
Also, one of the things that from the loudmouth about DK, is he not just power hungry? Because he is an individual who went to DPP, got booted out, and then discovers that there's a vacancy for presidency at UTM, and then he's at UTM. I mean, how do we trust that this guy truly has a heart for Malawi, or he just wants to be at the top?
I think it would be really unfair to call him power hungry, because you can actually see his record. So from the Reserve Bank governor, where else is he supposed to go? Because he's hit the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not being power hungry, because when if you speak to him and you see the way he speaks, he came to our party. We trusted him. At first, we were like, okay, we don't really know this guy. But looking at him for the few months, not even a year, few months he's been a leader of the party, you can actually see the changes he's made. And I'll give an example of inside one that, the way our convention was done, surely people expecting divisions, because there were so many people fighting for the same position. But you see how he brought everybody together. That is management skills. I even up to today, I still wonder that how did he do it? Because
but he hasn't. He hasn't, because you have Odiazake, who was completely eluded or excluded from this, and he's gone on to have his own party. This was your man in the camp.
I don't regard him as one of us, because he's always been an MCP puppet. So that one, he's still like a rug for MCP.
Now listen, we've stayed too much on DK. Let me bring in Mr. Mvula. What's your take? A little bit about DK. Carol is convinced DK is the best candidate. What's your take in what she has been saying before we talk about Dr. Laz?
With all due respect, Pastor Chance, asking me to comment on DK and UTM, I think I'll put it to Malawians out there. I think Malawians agree with me that this coming election really is about two names. I don't even have to mention the two names. DK is just, they are just those that are just going there supporting, But the thing is, Malawians have got a choice on either they're going to go back to DPP government or they're going to go back to
claim. So in the claim of Carol,
I've had problems with DK because, come on, here's a guy who was giving himself money, his salary, paying himself millions when Malawians were suffering. He is the guy who was facilitating transfer of funds without government authorization. He was given opportunity. He was at the helm of money, Reserve Bank, and he lacked integrity when he was there. How do you expect the very same person to have integrity when he becomes the president? I don't know. I don't think he will.
Maybe
and that's
he's
why,
repented.
And that's why Malawians have seen it from afar, and that they can see that, it's either we go back to DPP or we maintain Chakwera. But the thing is, it's only Chakwera anyway who's gonna be the right person.
Now listen to me. Caro's claim is that when it comes to Chitukuko, your president has just concentrated to the center.
That's not true. I think we've got a lot of things on record. When we say Chitukuko, you are talking about infrastructure development. We are talking about all those roads that have been done in Blantyre, all those roads that have been done in Chitipa. We're talking about the irrigation and investments that have been done.
Mention them, so that at least
we are talking of the AIP, 5.7 million beneficiaries over the past years. We are talking about the mega farms. What kind of, because when we are talking about the government, it's not just about infrastructure development in terms of roads or something, of which Dr. Chakwera has also scored highly on that. We are talking of economic reforms as well, restoration of donor confidence. When we took over power, the donors didn't even trust Malawi. As you highlighted the issue about IMF cooking up figures on all those type of things, Dr. Chakwera had to win back the confidence. Things like that, the infrastructure development that you're talking about, we are talking about the CDF for the MPs, raising it to about 2 million kwacha. Reintroduction of the train services that are not working for the 30 years. A lot of things that he has done. So in terms of bringing developments over the past 5 years, Dr. Chakwera has scored 100% on that one. And then you can't compare with the other candidate. It's unfortunate that the DPP representative that was supposed to come here decided to chicken out, because maybe he's realized that this time there's no chance that Malawians can elect DPP back in power. But we have a guy that wants to be the president just because he wants to go and sit at the State House and let other people rule the country. So the thing is, Malawians are very clever nowadays. They can never be tricked. You can never have somebody just having the name of the president while it's the other people that have surrounded him that are really running things. We can't afford to do that. And those people that are surrounding the president himself, Mutharika, are the people that we have seen what came out of the newspapers, Chisale and all the things that he accumulated that are not even in line with the job that he was doing. So he has been surrounded by dodgy people that are just sniffing around to have an opportunity to govern by the back door. Malawians are very clever and they've seen that. He's also very much associated with the past corruption. People don't want that. And he is a guy as well who has failed even to build up alliances with people. They are very selfish people. A lot of parties wanted to work with them, but they just, because they're so power hungry.
Who is that? Who are we referring to?
But they can't even have an alliance with other parties.
Which guy are we referring to? Is it APM? Because you were mentioning about APM. Is it APM or DK who has failed to do alliances?
Both of them maybe have failed to do alliances, but I was highlighting the fact that the people.
Before you jump back in, Caro, going back to you, Chalo, Chakwera, one of the things that the loudmouths are saying is his lenience, I think this aspect of servant leadership, we understand what he meant by that, but somehow he's been too lenient when it comes to stamping out the corruption. What do you say about that?
I don't think he has. I think he's the guy who, when he appoints somebody, he trusts that person have the capabilities to deliver the job that he's been given. So he gives people a chance to show their talents, to show the capabilities that they have. And if he wasn't keen on stamping out corruption, he couldn't have empowered the SCP the way he has done. So he's been there. People, I think, just want somebody that can just emotional beings that just wakes up one day and just think, oh, Chance, I fired you, I fired you. No, running the government is not like that. It's a big institution whereby right processes needs to be followed. So I personally think Dr. Chakwera has been good. He's given people opportunities, chances to deliver, and those that have failed, we have record of so many people that were in government and they're no longer in government because they were fired. You know,
okay.
So
and I put on a screen there somebody. This is my friend Bishop Kaunda saying, please give us one corruption case that has been brought to justice during his tenure. I mean, one of the things that I think MCP-led government has not done well is the issue of corruption. Because surely there are bad eggs in Malawi that are roaming around that needed to be behind closed doors or behind bars. Let's put it that way. Why is it difficult? I know you were saying that, you know, there's too much in the system and we need to clean up, but you've had 5 years. And this man seems to be very lenient when it comes to knowing this individual needs to be behind bars. These people are just, you know, people just roaming around. Our country is still seen as you can play around with, you know, corrupt stuff and still be okay.
Yeah, what I'm going to say there is that Dr. Chakwera, even as a president, he just can't wake up to say, okay, and I want Whayo arrested, or I want Pastor Chance arrested. Dr. Chakwera is a person who respects the government systems and he respects the legal processes. Those people that have gone through the legal processes, the SCB has been prosecuting people. They had to do their own investigation and, you know, deliver the investigation to the courts and everything. So, right. As long as the process is there, as long as the legal system, it's not only Dr. Chakwera isn't the judge, he's not going to judge somebody, but as long as the people that are committing corruption are being put in the system, the legal system is following up on them, I think we are on the right path. Remember, the issue of corruption was so rampant in the DPP government time. And even in MCP time, we've had issues of some other people being caught, you know, doing corruption activities, and others have lost their jobs. So we can see that the work is being done and that we are working to, it's a progress. And I believe that the next 5 years that we're going to be in power again, we will continue that progress, because what Dr. Chakwera has done is he has empowered SCB so that they can be able to follow up on most of the issues that are in the government.
Right. The next thing that I really want to chuck to you know, throw to the two of you is, how will security be tightened? This is by the clips that we've come across of vandalization in the streets of not only just Lilongwe. You're talking about people literally just you know, vandalizing, you know, a train rail. You know, how do you look at it? Let's start with Mrs. Whayo. Carol, I mean, how does your government combat that? Because truly, we can talk about people bringing, a president, you know, furnishing our country with infrastructure, then we don't have security. One of the things I've said is that, you know, security is key to investment in a land. How do you attract an investor to come into your nation that is purely, you know, sabotaging the growth of Chitukuko, if I may say? How do you combat that when you come in?
Us combating that?
Yeah. How can you eradicate, if you like, what is your security measures for the government? Because
if you can see now,
maybe let's say, I'm starting with you because I'm trying to say maybe MCP's led government has failed. So tell us, how are you going to do that better? If
you're to see, like, you know, we have got this all whistleblowing, yeah. When someone mentioned that, people are laughing at the whistleblowing. It's no, whistleblowing is actually good, because if you talk about corruption, if you look at entire Bingwa Mtarika, there was whistleblowing, so people could actually be scared to even try and get into a corrupt activity with yourself because they don't know who you are. Okay, and even there was that time, that's the only time I can say, apart from when Kamuzo was there, the only time that Malawi has ever been safe, because he said shoot to kill. So someone will not go out there because they know that if the police catch me, I'm finished. But now, because of the corruption that is so much there, it is like it has been cemented in. So people know that if I just give money to this one, everything will be gone. Sometimes even those people, our police agent, they'll look the other way because you know what? So this government has actually failed. But with us, when we come into power, we will make sure that we empower the civil servants. This includes our police, we're talking about Kuchipatara and all those civil servants. Empower them, give them enough money, and then, you know, empower them so that they do their job to their best ability. In this country, if you look at this country, you find that a policeman, if you meet them on the road, you can't tell them, I'll give you 200. And then expect that something will happen. They'll arrest you as well at that point because you're being corrupt. So if you do those things and then you make sure that there's this whistleblowing, no one will be able to do anything because they know that they'll be caught and the law will catch up for them.
Carol, apart from whistleblowing, my point is, how do you then empower the security boys, police, to truly deliver? Because there's a lot of corruption in the police system. Trust me, we can't even begin to talk about it today. But there's a lot of, one of my friends, whom her shop was mowed in Area 25, to this very day, she's been going to the police back and forth. They caught, hear me, they caught the individual who was working with the people that she connived with the thieves that took stuff from this individual shop worth 1.2 million. Now, a young woman who's doing her good business and finds herself at the police reporting with this individual who was linking, these deals to happen, but they were let off. Do you know what they were told at the police? I think in Zamankwala. My point is, yeah. I mean,
oh wow,
what a system of policing is happening. I don't know. I mean, we'll get back to Mr. Mvula. Maybe he can give me an understanding on that. But what are you going to do to the police? Because to some extent, I even have felt to even want to be the commissioner or the chairperson of the independent inquiry, to kind of like, let's police the police. Because there's a lot of rottenness in the policing that is so unreal on the ground. How does UTM come in to truly empower or change the mindsets of our police?
We're talking about these people that, these people, if you have to look at the root cause, because some of these behaviors, they come in as a problem because people are not getting paid enough. Right. You find that civil servant gets paid maybe about 200,000. What do you do with that? 150,000, and then you're getting 200. You haven't paid rent, school fees, food at the house, and all those things. So to them, it's survival. Yeah. So if you have to look at them from that angle, you find that they just want to survive, feed their families and stuff. So for them to feed their families, they have to hurt someone else in the process. But then when we come into power, we are going to make sure that all the civil servants, they are being paid enough money for them to survive. And then once you pay that much money, you have no reason to go and do these corrupt practices, because the moment you're caught, you'll be fired. Right? That's what our president says, that there's zero tolerance to all those things. If you're caught doing those things, you will be fired on the spot. So you can't even say I'm going to ombudsman because you have broken the code of conduct.
Yeah, Mr. Mvula, let me come back to you. I mean, much of these things are happening under your nose. And I know probably you inherited a rotten system. One of the things I said going to the polls in 2019, 2020, I said what I believe why God is bringing in Dr. Lazarus Chakwera is to bring in a transparent system of governance, that even if he left, that continues. Whoever comes in doesn't manipulate it. Why is it difficult that we can school the police or even add to their numbers so that there is, and just like, the Kabambe era apparently is going to raise their salary so that they concentrate on their job. What's so wrong? Why is it so difficult under Chakwera?
I think if we are to look at the police and what they've done, I might accept that maybe there have been some difficulties, but most of the difficulties that you would highlight probably are the difficulties that we inherited from the DPP regime, because that was a mess. And we needed to clean it up. Yes, we were taxed from the start to clear the mess, and we've done well. You know what? We did set a target of building 10,000 police houses across the country. And we have seen in the news, we have seen the Minister of Lands going to open the houses, and Dr. Chakwera did that.
How many have you built so far?
I can give an example. We've had 30 houses that have been given
out of the 10,000 5 years.
No. We are doing it in phases. Yeah. So there's been.
No, I just wanted the figure. We can't say neither here nor there.
I can give an example. We had 30, it's almost over 1,000 something houses that have been given. I remember 30 houses were given at Bangwe Police Unit, 30 houses at Mitole Police Unit in Chikwawa, 15 at Malawi Police Unit, and the list is endless. And the evidence is there. We have shown. It's not. We can't compare this to what the DPP said by saying they're going to build houses and they only built 10. Yeah. So the target of 10,000 houses is true, because what our police need is the resources. If you provide the police the right resources, good homes, resources for their job, they're going to do their job. The right training given to them. And that's what the MCP government has been doing. you can see things are improving. You can't compare what is happening now to what was happening in the DPP government. In terms of what you highlighted about all the security and everything, I think the thing is, we came at the thing of talking about the rule of law and the fact that when somebody else commits a crime, he needs to go through the legal process and that kind of thing, which is what we've been following. Those people that have been committing crimes, being caught, they're going through the courts and they are being prosecuted. But what we need is, we accept the fact that there's still a lot of work, but we are proud of the progress that we have done in the past 5 years. We are proud of what we've done so far and the progress of where we are heading to. So we believe that in the next 5 years as well, as I highlighted, I've always highlighted this point on this show, that this thing about President Chakwera is that he has built the foundation. Why I'm saying this is we can't afford to go back to what was there before in DPP time, because the foundation has been laid. Now what we need is the continuation. The trainings that are going to be provided to the police, the finishing of the completion of building of the police houses, the provision of resources to the police, and also this thing about changing the mindset. I'm going to come back to that. I know this thing about mindset change was largely highlighted by the late SKC, but it's a concept that as Malawians, regardless of political affiliation, I think we need to adopt this, because it's this thing that is
eating Malawi.
Yes, because there are people that are committing crimes just for the sake of saying, okay, I need to destroy this infrastructure so that it comes across that the Chakwera administration didn't do that. It didn't build that out of jealousy, out of trying to portray a picture that maybe the government is failing. And this has been happening a lot. But as I say, the focus is to empower the police, give them the resources, give them the right training, and the recruitment of other police officers, providing of their better accommodation and stuff like that, of which the Chakwera administration has been doing, and we are on the right path.
And in that saying, I feel we're about to probably exit. My point is, especially when it comes to security, guys, I'm very. I feel that I think we've slept too much. I know Kara is going to echo that all day long. In terms of our police are sleeping on the job. I know we're going to say that everything is going to go to Chakwera. Maybe he needs to do better. But how about the Inspector General of Police educating her people that, you know, you can't wear that uniform anyhow. You got to be proud of that. You got to understand this is authority. You put on this uniform, you are in authority. You can't. In the uniform. Man, you feel like something is not right when it comes to a mindset of a Malawian or an African. We don't place authority on someone in the uniform. When in actual sense, you can minimum in it, Carol. You've said over here, you cannot tamper with the policeman. You won't even try to bribe them. But here it is again. One of the things I do believe is that I think we have given them not enough resources. I mean, somebody's bugged in. How much taxi for real, for sure.
Yeah.
And Malawi police that has to respond to emergency has to say to the victim of vandalization to say man,
someone is coming there and hacking them, and then they say we need police for help, and they're like, no,
imagine. So anyway, listen, guys, I mean, we can talk here all day. We don't have much time. Thank you for coming on and telling us who we should choose. Maybe my analysis or my summary is maybe we shouldn't change a leader. We just need to bring in DK to be back in his position as the governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi. What do you think? Or maybe we need to bring DK to be the vice president and Chakwera being the person that runs as the leader with a good heart. Final words for both of you.
On the 16th of September, Malawians will be making a choice. Okay. And this choice is about the future of Malawi. This is not just games and everything. This is people's lives at stake here. And it has been proved over the past few weeks. The leaders, the political leaders have presented their cases. And it's very much obvious at this stage that Chakwera and Vitumbiko Mumba are the right choice that will bring Malawi, that will take Malawi forward. And I call upon Malawians as you go to vote on the 16th of September that you have to make the right choice, and the right choice is Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. We have seen what has happened in the past 5 years. You have seen the lessons that we've learned. You've seen the foundation that has been laid, and you've seen the vision that we have put across in our manifesto of where we want Malawi to be, economic transformation and all those, the infrastructure development. And we have Vitumbiko Mumba. You've seen how he has delivered as a minister. We want somebody to clean up the system, you know, system reforms, and Vitumbiko Mumba is the guy. So, and he is also young, representing the youth. So the ticket of Vitumbiko Mumba and Chakwera is what Malawians need our 16th of September. And I call upon Malawians not to miss this. We can't afford to go back to DPP. Never.
Mrs. Caroline Whayo, your last words.
Yes, Malawi, this is a reminder. I just want to remind you that what Dr. Lazarus Chakwera wrote like 5 years ago today, he said, and I quote, fertilizer will be 4,950, passports 14,000, free water connection, free electricity connection, duty-free week, 15,000 monthly allowance for elderly, corrupt-free nation, Mombela University, Oton Chira International Airport, 10-story hostel at Chanko. So I just want to ask you that all these things that have been said, is it true? In the past 5 years, have they come true? Lerola, as I'm talking to you right now, most of you are sleeping on the queues. Most of you can't even travel outside because there's no forex. Most of you can't even travel outside, even to hospital appointments, because you can't afford, they can't give you a passport. Chakuja kulibe, fertilizer kulibe, china chili chose sichikuyenda. Ndemunduzo kuti, why do we have to bring back Chakwera? What has it done for us to make our lives better? So choice is with you guys. The choice is yours. We can't go back to DPP. DPP is another, my goodness, savage. So we can't even bring them back in because DPP is just worse, just as bad as the MCP. So DK is the only chance because we haven't tried him. Give him a chance and see how best Malawi will transform. Muja Malawi. What am I gonna ninja? Also gonna say food is coming with DPP. I mean, no, not DPP. Sorry, with DK.
I like the list of promises that you highlighted there, Caro, about the promises that the Alliance delivered. And considering the fact that 3 or 5 or things that you've highlighted there were actually the manifestos that were in your UTM manifesto. Talk of the adopted them. Price, talk you of adopted them. Things. So you can tell that it's UTM, it's all about promises of. UTM
has never been in government, so we can't say anything about that. So MCP came in, taking our manifesto, and we voted because of our manifesto.
You can never
are not going to end the debate. That's why I'm the host. A big thank you to Mr. Mvula, MCP NEC member based in the UK, and a big thank you to Mrs. Caroline Whayo, Publicity Secretary based in the UK. Thank you so much for the two of you. Just to know, and this is the thing about, I have so much respect of you two, because I know you know some of the things that your parties have as flaws, but you are capable to face and be accountable enough to come and somehow highlight and clarify. Thank you to you both. God bless you for being here. That's how we end the show. Once again, thank you for those of you that tuned in. I'm praying that some of the views given here from Caroline and Mr. Mvula has, shifted your understanding and pushing you to do the right thing on the 16th, which is next week, Monday. Do the right thing. If you want my opinion, I'm not giving it today. Today, I'll leave you with the opinions of these two. Make your own mind up. Let's go vote wisely. We need a leader that has a God-fearing heart, that understands where we were, where we are, and where we're going. It is your choice, Malawi. 16th of September, next week, Monday. We shall be, next week, Tuesday, rather, we shall be saying we have voted. And hopefully we can come again and say, okay, we're bracing ourselves for the announcement of a leader. God bless you so much. Have a good night and have a blessed week. See you next week. Bye-bye.